All right, that's what our screen looks like. And there he goes again. Another nice one. Look how big he is. Look at that. Good crappie. Another one. First crappie of the day. Good one. That's a good fish. Pig right there. The bait that did it. Good bait. All right, folks, this is a video that may never see the light of day. I'm heading out. I've already got my Grundon's Gore-Tex suit on. It's not raining yet. It's gonna rain. The wind's gonna blow. It's already blowing. Hopefully you can hear me. We're gonna try long lining for crappie in the worst conditions that you can think of. Windy and rainy. The only thing we got going for us is some 60-degree water. So I think we may have some fish in the creeks. We're gonna try to duck out of the wind. If I catch crappie today, I'm the greatest crappie fisherman that's ever lived. Okay, that's a lie. But I'll be pretty happy if we catch some. So let's get down the lake, see what we can find. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you the rundown on how I long line troll for crappie. I've got some rods here. A couple of them's already pre-rigged. We'll go ahead and get them out. These are precision cast rods from Catch the Fever. Put you a link in the description. Same place, same people that make the catfish rods. So what I've got them rigged up with are some El Cheapo fishing reels. Nothing expensive, nothing crazy. I think some Runsells, some Ancient Mariners, some Timu specials. So nothing special. 6-pound line. One is a low vis, one is a high vis. Both of these are from Catch the Fever also. It's their slime line. And then I've got some crappie magnet jigs on here. This is one you can put the scent into. That's what that little eye is for on there. Some little swimmy tails. I'm going old school. I am not using minnows today, mainly because the boat online, our boat store was out. These are the 1/8-ounce jigs. These are the ones I put closest to the boat. You can see this is a heavier jig. I put it closest to the boat, or I put it, I'll show you the spread. It'll be the inside one closest to the boat, the deepest, in case the fish push down when the boat comes through. Trying to put the line out about an equidistance. I'll show you a good cast here on how far it goes. Boom, that's a good long, I don't know, 60-foot cast. Boom, get it out there, knock it into gear. Get it set up in the holders here. Boom. Like I said, this is not a fancy way of doing things. Another one, different color jig head and a little different jig on it. I think the swimmy tails are gonna work better today simply because we don't have any minnows with us. Trying to get all this untangled. They call it low vis for a reason, because you can't see it. We'll get into boat speed and the spread and all that here in a second. I just want to get these out and get them in the water, get them trolling. But I think the ones with the little curly tails, the swimmies, are going to work better. Same thing with that one. Could pull a line off. Poof. I'll put that one into a holder over here. Now, just for the record, position. I'm not exactly rigged up for crappie fishing with rod holders, so you'll have to forgive me for that. Just the it's catfish setup, so you can fine-tune the crappie fishing rod holders and make this a lot sweeter deal. Maybe if I had a multi-bar here, it may help, but it is what it is. Any of you expert crappie fishermen are laughing at me. The next jig I'm going to go to, and I've got this written on the bottom of my pole in pink tape. I've got green tape on there for the 1/8 ounce, a 16th ounce jig, and I'll explain all this to you here in a second. Same thing, good solid cast with it. Boom. Those are harder to cast, so I'll give a couple of pulls of line off of those rods. Trying to hit right next to the buoy here. Perfect trolling speed, by the way, right now. I'm gonna run right down this buoy here. You can see I got a buoy coming. I try to drag them right down the side of the boat. That seems to be the best way to miss them, at least with the jigs. So we'll see how that goes. Get this in there. Dang. See what I want to do. I like these things down, but I'm going to put them here so they're straight out behind the boat. There we go. That one's out. And we got to get a bait on this other one. Crappie jigs over in here. That's some different color swing-tails in some of these. Boom. Can't go wrong with Bobby Garland stuff. Always good stuff there. See if there's any little curly tails buried in here. A lot of these are designed for casting. There's one there that I ought to just tie on. How heavy is that one? Weight is important. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's back then. Let's set up what we got here. What do we have here? A little bitty swimmy tail. Boom, we got a fish already right there. Boom. Oh, missed him. Missed him. The one good thing about jig fishing is you ain't got to worry about putting minnows back on. I love that part of it. Let's see what's in this. I'm sitting there not paying attention to what's going on. There seem to be fish in here. There's a lot of fish in here. They're kind of deep. Oh, look at that thing. Ooh, that's pretty. We already got a rod rigged. Again, this will be a 1/16 ounce jig head, unpainted. At some point, I'm probably gonna get me some Crappie Man jigs. He makes some sexy ones. But for now, this is what I got. Like I said, we'll talk a little boat speed stuff here in a second as I test out the braking strength of that rod. Boom, maybe on there. There we go. Again, this is 1/16 ounce. How do you know that? I got it written on the rod. Boom. And it's out there. Line out. Poof. Got it. Put that straight out the side there. Make sure this one's got enough line out too. All right, so the thing with long line trolling, it's called that because the lines are a long way out behind the boat, is you've got a few variables that you have to control. One is your boat speed, first and foremost. Pick a boat speed and stick with it. The boat speed is going to affect, one, the reaction to that the fish have to the baits, also how the baits swim in the water. So that's one thing. It's also going to affect the depth that your baits are running at. Second thing is going to be the weight of your jigs. If you noticed, I had 1/8 ounce jigs on these center ones that's closest to the boat. 1/8 ounce is going to swim deeper than a 1/16 of an ounce. Just like a 32nd is going to swim shallower than a 16th. So heavier the jig, the deeper it's going to swim. All things being equal, your line weight being the same. I'm running 6-pound line on all of this, all of it mono. That's one of the variables you want even across the board. The other thing, boat speed, keep it a constant boat speed so you know what you're doing. What's the perfect boat speed? There is none. Anywhere I have trolled and caught fish at anywhere from 0.7 to 1.5. Ideally, run it at 1 mile an hour. If you can maintain that speed, it's a good speed. Somewhere around there is fast enough. The faster you go, the higher your jigs are going to swim in the water column. The slower you go, the lower they're going to go. So if you're able to, you can play around with the speed a little bit to drop those jigs deeper to see if that helps. And I may try that here in a minute just to see what's going on. We got fish in here. We're out of them now. We've come up onto a hump here, a little point, and it's about 10 feet deep. This is where you will really see just how deep your jigs are swimming, because I think these 1/8 ounce ones are starting to bop on the bottom at 1 mile an hour. So that gives you an idea. Those things are swimming at about 10 feet deep. You can see them hitting and bouncing coming across the bottom there. So that gives you an idea, and those are not fish. That is just them hitting on the bottom. So we know those baits are running about 10 feet deep. I can feel it bumping on the bottom now. So in that situation, you can speed up the boat. You add a little more speed to it, it'll fly them up off the bottom further. So Good rule there, at about 1 mile an hour, 1/8 ounce jigs, as much line as I put out, they're swimming about 10 feet deep. So we'll know that these here are gonna be shallower than that. You want them not super deep. You don't want them below the fish. And our fish, like right now, we're looking at about 15 feet deep, and there's a pile of fish on the screen. You want those jigs slightly above them. They're feeding up, they're underneath stuff. They come up, boom, they hit it. So that's kind of the mentality on all of this. There are lighter jigs. I've got some 15-foot poles or 12-foot poles on here that I'll put lighter jigs on. If we put those out way out on the outside for fish that are really, really high in the water column. Take a look at some of this stuff that's on the screen right now. That's a lot of stuff, a lot of thickness. Is it perch? Is it crappie? I mean, conventional wisdom says crappie. You can see a lot of stuff stacked up in here. Kind of deep this morning, to be perfectly honest. I thought they would have been higher in the water column. We got a good water temperature showing around 61.7. So again, we're coming up on a hump here. It's going to get shallow again, so we'll see what's on it. We'll see if anything hits right before it. We got some bait stacked up there on the edge of it, some fish feeding in it. Most likely crappie right there is my thinking. Some of the more strung out lines may be some perch, so we'll probably see the lines hitting as we come up here on this point again. We got a fish, so 1/8 ounce jig again. This is the rod that's got hit every time. Now, one thing that can be said is you start getting hit. I'm trying to see if I'm in that line. I think I may be. Am I coming across it, or let's see. Yeah, I think I'm pulling it in. Let's see what we got here. Come here, big boy. That's a perch. May have another one on there. We're not going to discriminate today. That's a little perch hitting the bait. Let's get this over here. Get the live well open. This perch, I'll show you that bait here in a second. There we go. And what we want to do, and that one's clicking right there. There's the bait on that one. That's one of the Crappie magnet jigs right there. Again, we're going to get it back in the game. A couple of good pulls off of there. Boom. Let's see who we got on this one. Well, we had a fish. I think he came off. Yeah, one of the things about this type of fishing is you never know what you're going to catch. You can get into some crappie. You can get into some perch. You can get into a lot of different stuff, even catfish. Boom. Come back. Boom. But yeah, that tells us that the fish are set up deeper, at least the biting fish. Now, those other ones could have been some perch biting too. But, you know, 1/8 ounce or something with that, maybe that color. That's another thing. That color that's set up, you catch a fish on it, you catch a couple of fish on it, you catch 3 fish on it, you may want to switch over to that weight jig, that color, because that could be something those fish are keying in on. So we've got the baits out there. It's just a matter of covering some water at this point and seeing what'll feed. There's a lot of stuff back in here. Again, more fish back in here, a mix of fish. Also some bait back in here. So it's a matter of whether they feed, when they feed, and if we're here to see it. Got him. I'm betting this is gonna be a crappie. This is a 16 ounce jig. I got the tape on the base of the rod. Let's see what we got here. Yep, coming to the top. That's a crappie. That's the target species. Target species. And that one came on a white one. Little white, little swimmy tail there from Crappie Magnet. We got one. First crappie of the day. Got him. In the boat. Yes, sir. Double check him on the old. Oh yeah, he makes the cut. Now some days you'll get out here, you'll get a catching fish, and there's no rhyme or reason to what they're hitting color-wise. You just take it for what it's worth and keep fishing. Again, good chunk out there. Boom. I'm gonna give it 2 good pulls off of here. It's about where I had it set up on the other time. Now, some people will tell you, pick one jig weight and fish it and vary the length of the line. And you can do that. That will work. That is another strategy. There's, like I said, there's a lot of ways to do this. So it's going to be a bunch of y'all that are going to watch this video and go, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. You're not wrong. But there's a lot of different ways to do stuff. And I think some of it probably varies with the lakes and stuff that you're fishing too and how you fish. But it's a fun technique. You can keep the boat moving. And, you know, no real casting involved with getting up on the bank or anything like that. So it's fun when it works. When it's on, it's fun fishing. Boom, same rod, just got it out there. There we go. So this could mean something here when you start to catch. You know, this is 2 fish, same rod, same jig. Let's see if he's a crappie, a perch. He's fighting. There's a crappie. Yes, sir, a little better fish. Boom. All right, so that's 2, same jig, same color. Probably one of the more popular colors out there. Anytime you put chartreuse and anything together, it works good. And if there's a better fish, good one. Good one right there. Nice crappie. Good eater size. Yes, sir. We've cheated death on the rain and the wind. It's a coming though. So sadly, it's not going to be this pleasurable. This is gorgeous long line weather right now, to be perfectly honest. If this would last all day, which it's not, it would be perfect. But it is what it is. Another thing is direction. Sometimes direction matters. You know, we're pulling this direction going upstream. Sometimes you can turn around and go back that way, and boom, the fish will light up. It just kind of depends what's going on. Wind can dictate some of that and make a difference in that. But for now, we got 2. I need to get my clicker out so I can keep track of them. 20 fish limit, 8 inches on this lake that we're fishing. So plenty of fish for somebody, and a lot of opportunity to, you know, take home enough to eat. Boom, there he goes again. Same color, same depth. I may have doubles. I got one on the other side too. Got one on the other side. Let's see what we got here. See what we got. See if that one stays buttoned. There it comes. Coming to the top. Always a good sign you got a crappie when that happens. Boom. Again, another good fish. Another good one. Let's see if he makes the cut. Don't know. I'm calling him a release. We'll release him. Now what I'm going to do is get this one right back in the water. Get this one back out there. We'll see if that one stayed connected. Boom. Boom. I don't think he did. Maybe he did. I don't know. Down in there. In the holder. Boom, he is there. Wow. That one there gave up. May have one on the 1/8 ounce jig. We'll see. We may have hit the pocket here. And that drag. What's funny is I don't see as many fish on the screen. I threw that one back. I figure no point in keeping them if they're close. Another fish there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boom. That's definitely a keeper. Get him release. It's got some white in it, at least. We're going to get him right back out. Little pink. I'll get some line. This is one of them El Cheapo Timo reels that for crappie fishing, honestly, it's all you need. There's no point spending a fortune on high dollar reels for crappie fishing. All they're doing is taking up the line. That, my friends, is a better fish. Right there. That's a good one. Got a little dirt on his face. That's the one you stick a knife into right there. Yes, sir. Good fish. Good crappie. Yes, sir. Boom, there goes that rod. Boom, stuck in. We definitely have found the jig depth. Now what you can do on these 1/8 ounce, these are probably, I don't know, that one just got hit too. Boom, that one got hit, pop, pop. Another good keeper fish. Need to keep my clicker going here. Boom, another one. Not quite as big as those other ones, but good one nonetheless. Heck yeah. When they bite, it's fun. Out again. Boom. Again, getting all that line off. What you can do with these 1/8 ounce is actually reel them in closer to the boat. It will swim them shallower. Sometimes these fish are a little boat shy. Sometimes they're not. So obviously, we got here a little bit of a tangle. There we go. Obviously, these fish are not exactly boat shy today. These fish seem to be in slightly shallower water too. The river channel fish there, not really biting that good. Here's what I'm gonna do, let's try it. Let's pull these in some, just to run them a little shallower. Now, what I just did was, I have no idea exactly how shallow that one is. So I just put about 4 or 5 cranks on it. When you turn the boat, it will change your jigs to how deep they are. You know, you turn this way, these on this side are gonna go shallower. These on this side are gonna go, I'm sorry, let me say it again. You turn this way, these on this side are gonna slow down and they're gonna go deeper. These on this side are gonna speed up and go out. You can catch perch, you can catch bass. That's a crappie coming to the top, as you can see. Catch a lot of different stuff doing this, so it makes it kind of fun. And you're not dealing with bait. When it's good, that's a better fish right there, guys. Oh, boat flip. That's the day maker right there. That's a good one. That's a big, solid beast of a fish right there. Look at that. Look at that fish. Look how big he is. Get my head over here. Y'all can get a look at him. Yes, sir. What we're looking for right there. Good fish. That one, how long is he gonna go? About almost 14 inches. We'll take a fish like that again. There's the bait. Caught a couple on that one. And out there, good long cast. Boom. Pull some line off. And let's see if we can stick some more. This is fun. This is fun fishing. This is a decent catch rate. It's funny, I'm doing better where I'm not seeing a lot of fish. There's fish on near the bottom right here. It's shallower water. We're only in about 12 feet of water. And this is working better as far as catching there. We had a little flurry of them, so we'll see if it continues. Now I've got some 12-foot poles back here I may rig up. They just put the baits out away from the boat further, and if you get a little bit of boat, you know, fish afraid of the boat, and kind of help. Boom, got one there. Poof. There we go. I'm sitting here trying to rig up this 12-foot pole and keep getting popped. That one came on an 1/8 ounce jig. This may be the first fish we've caught on it. I didn't put this one out as deep. No, actually, this is not. This is the one we retied, that outer one, and this is still a 16th and another perch. So we'll keep the perch. We ain't discriminating. Yeah, this was the 16th ounce, and it's what I put on this 12-foot pole too. Got one popping on this one. There we go. I made a 180-degree turn. I'm going back out the way I came. Got kind of back here to the back. The bite action fell off a little bit. I've got both of my 12-foot rods out the side. And this is one that came on, one of the ones I retied with the little white swimmy tail jig. So we're catching them on about everything. Anything that looks like it's halfway white seems to be working. So good catching so far. Now, some of you will ask, how shallow will this technique work? I'll be honest with you. I know guys that run this through 4, 5, 6 feet of water catching fish. And I think that's where these longer poles really come in more handy. Usually what happens with me, by the time it gets that good, I go to catching catfish. I know that's terrible, but I've gotten more into crappie fishing this year. And I keep going back and forth between crappie and crappie. I don't know how to stop that. My poll results online are showing, I got to go back and look at them on YouTube. On Facebook, crappie was the more popular pronunciation, but I'm curious how the YouTube number showed up. But anyway, beside the point, they're both the same fish that we're chasing. So we're gonna pull back into kind of the path we came in, basically, and just see if the direction makes a difference. And I'll probably make a loop through here. I mean, we put, 6 or 7 fish in a boat, 7 or 8, because I threw back a couple. There's a couple I didn't even have on camera. So we'll see if this direction makes a difference. I'll make another circle so we can get on them, see how many we can get, see if we can get a limit before the rain gets here and the wind. Macaroni, there we go. Get back up into the sweet spot here. Like I said, that one area back there was just not producing fish. We're gonna see if this happens up here. It can happen this way. Sometimes you can come back through here and not catch a fish. Sometimes it's not as intense. Little white, little curly tail baby there. Those seem to be working. Another nice one. We're getting them, picking at them, little by little. Whatever it takes, baby. In the tank. So the funny thing is, what's interesting is none of the outside rods, the longer 12-footers, have caught a fish yet. I thought those would have got hit, especially coming through the shallow, but I hadn't got hit on those yet. It's been these rods right here. So whatever works, we'll catch them anyway. We can take them. We're gonna see if it works coming back through this same area where we picked those fish off a minute ago. I don't see as many, to be perfectly honest, all of a sudden. So are they pulling up closer to the bank, or are they just moving through here? Who knows? We'll keep pulling though. We're gonna pull all the way up to the bridge and then probably do another spin and come right back through here and see what happens. Boom. Got him. Got him. Got him. Finally found one. Coming through that same little section where we picked them off earlier. There's definitely some fish in here. It's just a matter of picking away at them, keeping that speed steady. And we've got them on about every color. That's a mama, son. That's a mama, big mama. Got them on that one that time. I told you we've got them on the swim tails. We've got them on, that's a big mama right there. Look at that egg. Got a lot of eggs right there. Heck yeah, look at that fish. Look at the belly on that thing. That's a good fish. Very good fish. Heck yeah. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Boom. Another one in the tank. Come back out. That was the 1/8 ounce, what I call a short cast. Basically chunk it, knock it into gear. So that was one of the only 1/8 ounce I've still got out. So these fish were running through about showing 19 feet, 18 feet, 15, 16 feet, somewhere in there. These fish are, they're still kind of deep, about 15 feet. So maybe that 1/8 is the way to go to. We'll see. I picked them off on the other ones. We still have not got anything on those outside rods, though. I was hoping something would have hit on one of these 12-footers, but not yet. But I can't complain. Picking at them, picking at them. A few more to go. It's kind of what we're seeing on the screen there, guys. There's a variety of different fish. Are they crappie? Are they bass? Are they perch? I don't know. Got some different stuff. Y'all decide. Now, my bet, okay, if I was going to bet money, that's crappie right there. That's crappie. That's more of what I see when I'm usually catching them. Some of those arches are a little bit thicker, though. What y'all, comment down in the comment section what you think those are. I'm curious to get your thoughts on that. Traditional sonar there. It's a variety of fish. Could be some spotted bass around some of that stuff. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't catch one of those. We're coming up on some rocks right up here in some stumpy area, so we'll see if there's anything. Some of that starts to look like crappie there, some of those smaller reddish looking arches. And as soon as I say that, boom, we get one on the jig I just took back out. This is that 1/8 ounce. We were, maybe that is some, could be some crappie in there. That's right as I was pointing at those things, I looked back and seen this rod going. Now it's almost as if the heavier jig's working. I should have not untied all the ones I untied. It's all right. We can tie more on. Again, that one, boom, boom, boom. Now one of the things that can come into play here, it's starting to cloud up. And as things cloud up, it changes what they hit and what they're keying on and what shows up good. So maybe that color has something to do with it, don't know. Sometimes you can read into this stuff a little too much. But that's got a little more flaky. Generally people like, you know, some people say, oh, don't use the flaky stuff unless it's sunny so it glitters off of it. Some say use it when it's cloudy because it reflects light and they see it better. I don't know. I just put them out, we'll see what hits. We've caught them on everything we've had out there so far. So again, one good swift hard cast. Boom. She's fishing. So it all starts out good with my tape and my numbers, and then stuff changes. So when you're sitting at home getting all this stuff together, it's easy to get everything organized and working. But once you're out here, it's a different story. Man, there's some fish on the screen. Look at that. There's a variety of stuff right there. You come down here, I mean, some of those are crappie without a doubt. I think there may be some bass in there, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if some of those hanging right on the bottom underneath all that stuff aren't catfish. They do get in the mix too. We're getting ready to come back up onto this little hump here. I'm gonna make a turn off of that. Maybe hook around to the left, I don't know. Starting to get a few raindrops. Well, I tell you, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but boom, the rain's here and the wind's here and the bite has stopped. I have not had a fish. I made that turn down there. I caught that last fish, made the turn, about that's the time the rain hit, and you know, it boom, I hadn't caught a fish on this pass coming back up in here. I'm going to pull way shallow this time just to see if that makes a difference, but that can happen with in the crappie fishing world. You can get a weather change that can A, turn them on and boom, they start biting, or B, slam it to a halt. And honestly, that's what it feels like right now. Like I said, we're coming through the same area we caught those fish on the first pass, and as I say that, a rod goes off. So it may be the fish are just pulling further back in this creek, I don't know. Let's see what we got here. But that's why I'm gonna pull further back in here. I noticed some of the fish have disappeared a little bit, so good fish. That is a catfish of all things. Go figure. He's into another line too. I think he's into the outside jig line. So, well, so much for the theory that we're pulling back in here. The crappie bite has died off a pretty good bit. I told you you can catch just about anything out here. And there you go. My friend the channel cat. I love catfish. Don't get me wrong. Just not what I'm looking for today. We love the fish. We love catching all fish. It's just we want to catch what we want to catch, how we want to catch it on the day we want to catch it. So he gets to go back. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if anything's deeper. I don't know. It's raining pretty good right now. Maybe if the rain stops, it'll make a difference. But I got a feeling this front that's bringing this rain may be the kick in the teeth for us. I don't know. We're going to see. It's definitely don't have a problem going fast enough through here. We can keep our boat speed up pretty good. It's going to be hard to troll into it in this one though. So I'm going to get the hood on the Grundon's rain suit and see what happens. All right, guys, we got something on this outside rod. I'm not sure what it is. maybe a bass. Might have some old bass. I don't know. I may be insulting. Ah, he's coming to the top like a crappie. Finally got one on the big one. I was just getting ready to say, man, this bite has totally shut down. To a large extent, it has. But that is a good fish if he'll stay hooked up. That is an excellent fish. Excellent, excellent fish. Oh, let's flip him in. Oh, that's big boy of the day right there. I'll show you the little bait I got on here. He definitely liked that one. How long's that one gonna be? About 13 inches. Woo, baby. That is the pig right there. Heck yeah. Take him all day long. All day long. And half a day on the weekend. Look at that fish. Man. We got one to hit. We got one, even in the rain. Old big boy bit. I'll show you this bait. Like I said, it's a 12-foot rod, so it's a little bit hard to maneuver. This is Crappie magnet plastic, along with a little swimmy head spinner willow blade on that sucker. Right there. It's the bait that did it. Good bait. So got a little break in the rain here. The winds are coming. Yeah, I don't know. That turn and pull through here. Now we were slightly on a different course than before, but man, that is the only fish we caught. Granted, a good one. Matter of fact, I need to click him off to the right clicker there. But about halfway to a limit. Probably caught 14 or so, maybe 15. Threw a few of the smaller ones back, but yeah. I don't know. It could be just changing too with we're getting more and more daylight. It's good, you know. It was about like this light when we first got here. Then it got dark. Then you had the rain. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of variables. When you get a weather change like that, it can change for a lot of fish. Sometimes it's to the good. Sometimes it's to the bad. It kind of depends if they've been happy to begin with, and then it happens. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But I'm going to keep pulling further back into this creek just to do a little recon, if nothing else. There's still fish back here, not as many. Kind of earlier when we made that pass, we got into some once we got away from the concentrations. So we're gonna see what happens. I'm able to pull a pretty good speed through here. I don't know how far I'll go. I may go into some super shallow stuff. I see a lot of birds back here. It's usually a sign some shad have moved up in here. So we'll see what's going on. Water temperature still 62-ish. You know, it's a rain that hasn't really totally cooled anything off, so we don't have to worry about that. But just that, you know, just that change of, you know, rain hitting the water, maybe a little pressure change could play a part. So we'll see. We'll see if we find them. I've still got another creek I want to go to, a little duck out of the shelter that or a shelter from the wind that I want to try at some point. But I'm going to keep pulling this, still marking some fish. So we'll see if we can find a couple more takers. All right, guys, the rod we just caught, that big crappie on, the 12-footer with that little willow blade. Got another one. By the way, this is one of them El Cheapo Timo reels that I did some videos on. They're probably, I don't know, $8 or $10 a piece. Perfect reels for crappie fishing. You do not need a giant, expensive reel to catch crappie. This is actually a perch here. But there we go. We'll flip him up in here. Hitting that little jig with a little spinner. Again, we don't discriminate against what we keep and what we catch. We're happy to catch them. They pass the time. They proof of concept, if nothing else. Chunk him in the tank. But that little thing has produced a couple of fish now. So, liking that. Maybe there's something about that little bit of action. Who knows? But I love the action on these precision cast 12-foot rods, precision troll rods. These things, when you get a bite, you know it's on there. There is no question about it. The action on these things is very fast, and that's nice. That's nice. So get them in the holder. We're catching. We're catching. We'll see what happens. Keep pulling this. Try to find a couple more. Making a turn. Now that's a hard hit. sure what that is. That line would have been sinking. I'm turning in that direction, so that tells me maybe my lines need to be a little bit higher. I'm not sure what I got there. This could be a catfish or a perch or small crappie. We'll take that too. That'll work also. Let's see if he'll make the cut. May not make the cooker cut, but he may make the bait pile cut. Well, too close to mess with. We'll let him go. When they're 8 1/4-ish, I don't want to trust the tape measure. Bag alive. Yeah, folks, I literally put on the sunglasses. We've got enough sun popping out now that it's a little bright. I can't believe it. I think the rain's gone. I am not taking off my rain suit though, just because I don't want to tempt fate. But yeah, I'm gonna pull. I pulled up into this little pocket and marked some fish, but that's the only one I've caught, and I caught it on the turn. It looks like a lot of them are hugged right on the bottom, so I can either get some baits further down or just worry about the ones that are up. I'm gonna go back out toward right at the mouth of this little pocket. There were biting fish there, so like I said, I've seen them all across here. It's just those were the ones that were eating, and it can be like that sometimes. You will mark lots of fish. We saw that this morning. You'll catch them, and then you'll get to some and they just don't want to eat. So who knows what the dynamic is there. It's just one of those things you kind of have to adapt to. Got him. Better tighten the drag on that one. Need to make a turn here though. Gotta make a hard turn. What happens when I'm not paying attention? That's gonna put some lines on the bottom. That's the bad part about that. A decent fish. See if I can pan this out a little bit here. Yeah. Got over here next to the bank a little too close. I don't know, we might be okay. It's a good fish. Gotten some other lines, I think. Let's see. Oh, that's a pig. That's a pig. Get up here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got a little mess of lines here. See if I can fix this real quick. We'll deal with that fish in a second. Boom. Oh, we got a mess. Let's see if any of that rights itself. That's another one. That is definitely an eater-sized fish, guys. That right there is what you're looking for. That is it. How long's that one? Hey, about 12. Good fish. Let me get some stuff straight here before I drag through a mess. Boom. Man, that's a pretty fish. It's a good one. Boom. This one, we caught that one on one of the 1/8 ounce jigs, so it was kind of deep. So, don't know if that was just the way it fell, it was the color. We caught a couple on that color today. Let that one go back down, but we're gonna pull back out here to where I picked those off right when I came up in here, and we had several bites. So I'm gonna pull back through that area and see what we get into here. See how far those go down. And it wasn't crazy up in there. Like I said, I had a few hits, or saw a few fish, but not a lot of hits. So I think some of these fish may be holding at the mouth of this for whatever reason. So we're just gonna kind of make a run through it, loop around, come back through. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. That's what works. We're doing good. We're 5 from a keeper limit. We're well over a limit of fish with all the unders that I threw back. So I was able to do it for the win. I want to see if I can get 5 more to cook though. 5 more for the freezer and for the catfish hook. Go guys, there's definitely some stuff there. Whether that be bass, crappie, perch, somebody, there's fish here. I guarantee if they're around, Some of them are going to be the crappie we're looking for. B. Did he stay hooked up? If he's on there, he's little. Oh, there he is. I feel it now. Got my hood back on. I told you I ain't taking off my rain gear. I'm trying to ward off the rain. It's getting darker. Some thicker clouds coming in. I hadn't looked at the radar. This one was deep. This line was way back. I ran out a pretty good bit of line on here. Let's see if he keeps. He keeps. Perfect catfish bait size right there, guys. Double check his length. Oh, he's close. I don't take a chance when they're close. Let him go. We got over a limit. It's just my keeper limit is not there. I've thrown back a few. Get this one back in the water. This one has produced a couple of fish. Another little swimmy tail. I'm gonna let that one drop right there and see how it goes. Yeah, it's make another pass up in here. There's fish down there. They're dropped to the bottom though, and I don't know how much of that is from the amount of light we got or lack of the cold rain. I don't know, but they're holding pretty deep, so it is what it is. That one, like I said, that line was way back there, so we'll see if we can find one, or 5 would be perfect, but not a bad day considering. I'm glad I didn't stay at home. Very close, listening to the weather forecast and it's going to rain, the wind's going to blow, and wind's blowing. It's not horrible yet. I think it's going to be totally on the backside of this front when it comes in, but you know, it could be worse. It could be worse. I'm blessed to be out here and happy to be catching some fish. I got plenty to eat. Yes, hooked up. I didn't know if he stayed buttoned up or not. I'm dragging all the way into the back of this cove this time. Let's see what kind of mess we're gonna have here. Let's see if he'll stay down. Yeah, I'm dragging all the way into the back of it. There's a good windbreak back here. There's still fish. That's a keeper. That is a keeper. Boom. That's a knock him off the hook. Come on, that little pink and orange little deal we had. Little baby right there is producing today. Good one. Heck yeah. Yeah, just gonna, got back dark again. I don't see any rain on the radar, but gets a little shallower back here, so I'm thinking might be able to put some jigs in the front of them. Who knows? We're gonna pull one of these sides. I don't know which side. Might pull to the left in here. We'll see what happens. All right, my buddy from down in Georgia was calling me about a guide trip, and I told him, you see this video in a couple months, you called me in the middle of it. Well, when you called me, apparently this fish hooked up, because I just looked back and seen the rod boat over. So, hey, you brought me some luck. If I get it in, it'll be a good one if it's not a catfish. Oh, it's a crappie. I keep insulting these crappie and thinking they're catfish just because they're biting really hard. But this one's gonna be, oh, come here. That's a slob. That's a slob of a crappie, biggest one of the day. And he's booming the boat, in the boat. Ho, ho, ho. This is a pig mama. A pigzilla. How long's that one? 14, baby. Heck yeah. That's a pigzilla. To my guide trip client down in Georgia. That's the luck you brought me right there, brother. That's a good fish. That is a good fish. Get him all fanned out. Nice one. Nice one. Pigzilla. Pigzilla. Guys, I literally just threw that rod back out and got hit again. Poof. I wonder if that was some of them fish I saw on the screen back there. Might be worth making another pass through there. Another keeper. Easy. Boom. Man, what a day. 1/8 ounce jigs, a little deeper, but it's working. A little heavier. Again, that's some of the Crappie magnet jigs and soft plastics. This is the one, I'm not using it today, but it's got those little holes in it for the scent. You can put those little scent pellets in there. I forgot to bring them. They're in the other boat, but first world problems. This is slime line from Catch the Fever and precision cast rods. One of those is a precision troll, but proof that the precision cast will troll also. Man, it's a, I think I'm almost to a limit. I think one fish is all I need and I will have a good day on the water. I had a good day either way. If I didn't catch another fish, this is a good day. There's a lot of fish out here in this main river channel. Would not be surprised if I don't get hit with another one here shortly. But like I said earlier, glad I came out. I was real close to going, man, it's gonna rain, it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be nasty. Glad I came. Glad I came. You just don't know what's going to happen on the water catch wise, and you know, even today it's with the rain, still a good day of catching. Man, making a hard turn here and stuck one. Trying to get the boat positioned, kind of dealing with we got here into the little more open air and pretty good wind, but yeah, picked one up right on the turn, which was starting to pull out of some fish, and got one. You never know where something's going to come. Don't know if it's crappie or what it is, but got a fish over here. This one, oh, good size one, good size one. Slow the boat down. Oh, bull, could be the biggest fish of the day if he stays buttoned. I keep saying that, but oh, come here, baby, come here, baby, come here, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's a pig. Biggest fish of the day, without a doubt. Is he gonna go? Oh, 15 inches. Giant, absolute giant right there, guys. For this lake, anyway. Yes, sir. 15, baby. Nice fish, nice fish. That, guys, is a big fish. Need to slow the boat down. There's actually some over here, kind of a crazy place for them. But again, the long rod, that little spinner, that little willow blade baby is doing it to it. Get that back out there. No, wrapped around the end of the tip of the rod. Let's try that again. So one thing about the 12-foot rod, it's hard to see what's going on the rod tip. There we go. Everything loose there. Boom. Dragging. Man, I'm calling, I'm gonna make one little pull here. I don't know if I'll keep another one or not. I always like to keep like one or two less than the limit, just in case I miscounted. I'm usually pretty good with my counter, but I'm always worried that I may have missed one. So I think I'll call it with that. I mean, we've caught, let's look at the counter and see. Let's see, we got to click that one. So that's 18 fish and then 9 throwbacks. So well over a limit of fish. Definitely reached the goal of catching a limit. It's just, it's a good day, man. It's a good day. And this is the way long lining's supposed to be. I did a video where I went out and it was bad, but that's because the fish were not into these areas where we're catching them. I fished some of these same areas in that video, and because water temperature wasn't up enough, it felt like they should be there. Oh, there goes a fish right there. Boom. Let's see how much of a mess he's gonna make. Boom, he's went under some stuff. Because it felt like man, they ought to be up here. You know, they ought to be in this area. They weren't, because water temperatures weren't right yet. And they are now. You know, we were, you know, we're in the right temperature. This one's gonna make a mess, and this is another big fish. This is another, these big fish are offshore, and they're around this river channel. This is interesting. These are the bigger females. Oh yeah, that one gets in there. I'll cull one to keep that one. That's another big fat fish. This may be the combo. Here comes the wind too. We're starting to get the wind rolling in. Got here. I may cull one of these smaller ones. Let me drop that one. Where's a good small one? There's a good small one. Let him go back. Shoot. Bang. Nice. Nice. But yeah, that's kind of what your get some power on here. Winds are coming. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to be my luck that all of a sudden they're going to start firing up right now because of this wind, and that could happen. I'm going to try to pull back into this pocket, but this is getting blowing good. But yeah, it just wasn't time in those videos. Now it's the time. We got, you know, 62-degree water. Last night was the first night it's held over 60. So it's time for it to happen, for them to pull up in here and really get in there. It is interesting. Let me get this one back in position. Let that go out some before I click it in gear. Is that these bigger females that I've caught, these at least, these last couple have been out here middle of the river channel. So typically you wouldn't expect that. You expect them to pocket it in there a little bit more. I don't know. It is what it is. It's working. We're catching. And the big females are feeding. So we're in the right place. It's good fishing. Blessed to be here. Great day on the water. Unbelievable fishing.